Hello again, MCE Jets. I would like to talk to you more about patterns. Just helping you practice making lines that are the same. It helps the muscles in your hand to stick with the same kind of pattern over and over again. So I decided to draw some hearts. And then I also want to teach you about some tricks on coloring. So let's do the first one. It's a type of pattern, but your coloring can also be a pattern. Now, a lot of times I see a lot of students that color one way and then they stop, they move their whole hand and they go back the other way, and then they're over here doing it this way again, and then they go back this way, and it doesn't have any rhyme or reason. So what I want to teach you is when you're going to color an object, you can trace that line first, okay? And trace that line first. It helps you know where your edge is. Now, look how this is a curved line. I really want to talk to you more about this in class too, but this curved line, color along with it. Color along with that curved line all the way across. It takes more time and focus, and then as you get further in, just straighten it out. Straighten out that line. Now, a lot of times kids will immediately turn and go this way. But if you've already started something, it's just like any other pattern we were talking about. If you've started a pattern or a direction, then you need to keep going. Keep making the same direction in your picture so that everyone is looking at the shape that you're coloring and not just your coloring. They're not looking at the lines that you made, but the color that you've created. So, look, this other side, since I brought that one in, I went up in here, but you could double back and curl that line in again if you wanted. And the same thing, go back over this again. Make it sharper, clear. And then you can go over this again to where it's a smooth line. Now, if you wanted, take this to the next level. You could take the same color or a darker one. I'm going to get a darker blue. You can make a pattern, is what we're talking about, patterns anyway. So just decide what your pattern will be. For me, I think I'm just going to do polka dots. So another thing, if you're going to make a polka dot, you got to do that same type of line over and over again, okay? Don't give up. A pattern is a consistent thing. So if it's just polka dots, then you got to do them all the same. Okay? You have to stick with what rule you've created in your pattern. There's something about that that is really kind of neat, that you can create a new rule on how you're coloring. You can even make some of these polka dots sort of at the edge. So there's a pattern. Now another pattern could be thinking about texture. Sometimes patterns, I'm going to try this pretty color, can create what looks like a texture, even though that's a totally different topic. But do you see how this heart comes in like a letter V right there? You can actually take that on and do a back and forth pattern, just like I was talking about, doing the same motion over and over, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, if you want to, then you just move over and you see this row, do another whole row of back and forth right here. And stay inside the heart. And you know, if you make mistakes, it's just crayon. It's just patterns. You're just practicing. And then do it again. Make a new row of back and forth. And now it's starting to look like a sweater. So you could practice this so that someday if you're drawing a person with a sweater, you can actually implement this pattern to create the lines of the sweater. I loved to draw clothes when I was a kid in elementary school. I used to invent new outfits, and I had a whole little sketchbook of crazy outfits, guys and girls outfits of stuff in the future. What would we wear? And I wish I could find that now and see what all I invented. But I love to make details. Now look, this edge is really empty, and so just go ahead. The heart ends right there, so just go ahead and trace over that line with the color you used. So it just kind of helps us know that it ended right there. And if you want, excuse me, if you want, you can take another color that's in the same kind of family as the one you began with and lightly color everything in. So I'm going to try pink. Just really lightly go over everything. The other lines I pushed down really hard, but this I'm just going to be very light. Just enough that the white paper disappears and it kind of brings everything together. So there's our second pattern. Okay, another pattern you could do is kind of like what we would call plaid. Here, so we're going to start again by tracing the heart's edge. Whatever you're coloring, it's very good to trace it first. It just helps you know where the edge is. There's no other big deal about it. It just helps you know where the edge is. Well, so now just for fun, you make a couple of lines close together. And then leave a space. The same amount of space over here. And then do those two lines again. Same distance. Well, I kind of messed up, but you know. And then maybe do one of them here as if it's going to repeat the pattern here, but it's off of the heart so you can't see it. So what you're doing is creating lines this way. Now what you can do, if you want, put that down, grab a different kind of orange in the orange family, and add one more different line. You could add two skinny lines really close together in the big gap. You don't have to do it this way. You can change it up. But what you're doing is you are declaring a pattern. Now, I'm the one right now declaring this pattern, but you can also create a pattern. So look, I'm getting a blue because blue and orange are complementary colors. So this is not official blue. It's a type of blue, but it's kind of bluish purple, I guess. And I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm not going to go up and down. I'm going to go across. And I'm going to do another pattern of lines. Now, if you want, you can bring this line and stop it at the dark orange lines and then continue it again. So it looks like it's going underneath. And then you could do the same thing again. And maybe one more line of that. This is just me making it up. You guys make it up too. Then I'm gonna give it a space. And I'm gonna come down and do it again down here. Because the pattern is still happening, just in a different spot. Now if you want, I noticed that I like this line right here now. So I'm going to fill it in, make it really dark. So now it really convinces me the blue line is going behind the dark orange line. And then once again, you have orange, dark orange, and blue. And if you want, you can fill in all of the white space with something else. So I'll probably stick with blue. I'm just going to be really light about it. And I'm not going to press down. And I'm going to stick with not coloring over the oranges. I'm going to just color gently, very gently, over the parts that are white. And not over the oranges. Because they're brilliant orange and I want to leave them that way. Now, I talked a lot about being mindful last week and this week, and I mean it. It's really important when you're coloring to be mindful because you could create something really amazing if you just took the time to think about it. Just think for just a moment. What could I do? What else could I add? And literally just go for it. Now, this is a pattern that just showed up in the heart, but it could continue. This pattern could keep going on and on and on, this way and up and down. All right, let's try a new one. Now, this is one, they call it the hash marks, I guess is what you want to call it. We're going to try it. And it's really basic. Let's do our line again, tracing the edge of your heart. And I'm pushing down so that my crayon is really brilliant and bright. Now we talk about hash marks. You know how they say hashtag Midwest City Rocks, you know. Hashtag is like that. It goes 1, 2, and then you go the other way, 1, 2. Well, let's make an entire spot that is hash marks like this. You go this way for a bit, then you turn your pencil or your crayon and you go this way for a bit. Then you go this way for a bit, and then you go back this way for a bit. This way, and then back the other way. See, I'm actually turning my hand too, keeping one way and then turning my hand the other way. And this way for a bit, and this way for a bit. And then the last one, I think I'm going to go straight down and then go through it this way. So you could keep working that until every little spot is full. So it looks kind of like some funny fabric or something. So pretty much that hash line is a fun detail. And it can all be the same direction, but I thought I would mix it up. All right. Now, another thing about coloring, if you color this direction, so trace your little heart. If you color this direction for a while, then keep doing it all the way across. And then if you color this, if you trace this first and then you decide, oh, I'm going to color this direction, then you literally got to keep it going all the way across. So at least it has only 2 directions. One direction up and down, one direction to the side. And then you can make him think that you did it on purpose. Because sometimes we don't think and we're just all over the map with our crayon. And if you keep it and be mindful of what you're doing, then everyone will think, oh, he or she meant to do that. And if you want, take it to the next level and draw some sort of cool, you could pretend it's like a broken heart or something. Do a zigzag line down the middle, and it's like, hey, they meant to do that. All right, another pattern let's think of. I want to try yellow. Now, you can do all kinds of stuff with yellow. It could be the basic background, and then you add color over it. Or you could start in the middle and work your way out. Let's do that. Let's work our way out. Let's start with a red. I'm going to find the actual true red. Here we go. True red. It says red. So do your very best and try to make some symbol of a heart that looks like the one that you started. Or if you're not doing hearts and you're doing squares, just do that exact same shape again in the middle with, let's do warm colors. You remember warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. Those are all warm colors, like a fire, like a sunset. So what we're going to do is red in the middle, orange, and then yellow. Okay? So you make that next part orange, but go around your red. Don't color over your red. And I'm pushing down pretty hard so that it stays really brilliant and bright. And if you see some brown in there, it's because the crayon was dirty from something else I did with it. I guess it was when I colored over here. So then finish up with the yellow and pull it. Look how I'm moving my crayon around it like a sunburst. Do you see that? I'm not sticking to the same thing I did a minute ago. I'm pulling out. That's a pattern of my motion of my hand, is to go from the inside to the outside, back and forth, and then keep moving around like a sunburst. Now I'm going to do it on this side. Pulling out, back and forth from the orange to the edge and back like a sunburst. And it actually gets some of that orange crayon to come with it into the yellow, and it starts to look kind of tie-dye. So let me find my orange, and I'm going to touch the red and pull it into the orange. All you have to do is keep that pattern. Remember, you're the one making the rule with your crayon. What's it going to do? And then keep that pattern. Follow your own rule. So now I've got red. This feeds into orange. That feeds into the yellow. And you can add more yellow if you wanted into the yellow. I mean, more orange into the yellow. And then now you have almost tie-dye look. Get that yellow back, and you can mix that yellow and orange together. It's a lot of fun. If you wanted to go to the next fun level, you could take the cool colors and go on the outside of the heart, which the cool colors are blue. I'm trying to find all the real ones. Blue, green, and purple. Those are cool colors. So why don't we do that down here? Well, this time, let's start with purple, and then we'll do blue, and then we'll do green. So we'll do purple in the middle. Okay, I pushed down so it's as bright as I could get it. And then I'm going to do blue, and I'm going to pull that purple out with me. And just kind of make a thick perimeter, I don't know, a thick border on the purple. Leave that purple there, don't color over it. All right, now get your green, and oh, I forgot to trace my edge. Now pull that green and blue, color the edge of the blue line so that the green and blue blend. And then sunburst it all the way around like I taught you a minute ago. And it really does take being mindful. You got to say, what am I doing? What is my hand doing? How am I doing this? Am I sticking with the rule that I made? Am I not sticking with the rule that I made for coloring this piece? What do I need to fix? Being mindful is super important. You want to be present and paying attention to your art. All right, the last one is pretty much whatever. I can't think of anything in particular that I really wanted. If you wanted to make a zigzag pattern, we can talk about that. Zigzag pattern you can make with, let's try some green zigzags. So let's trace the heart again. And zigzags is just like a V and an upside down V, a V and an upside down V. And then maybe stick to that pattern. Try to copy it right below it. You know, and then do it again. Try to copy right where. You might need to pause this to see that I am copying that V, upside down V and V, right underneath this one, right underneath that one. You can do that. You just have to pay attention, that's all. Really, that's the biggest thing about art, is that you need to be all there when you're working. Don't space out and be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to pay just pay attention. Now, I think it would be fun either to have a light green and green, like he's all lime, or yellow. But I think I'm going to stick with this light green. And I'm not going to blend. I'm going to go right in between. It's going to take a second, but I'm going to go right in between the green. I'm not going to go color over the green as best I can. I'm just going to color where it's white. And that also means that you got to pay attention. It's really all about focusing in. And when you guys focus in, you do some of the most amazing stuff. So look, now we've got all of these fun patterns of all kinds. You can even make patterns. Oh man, the list goes on and on and on. Here's my last. I want to show you some things that I doodled. patterns that I doodled at home. Now they need a lot of work, but here's another like sweater. It looks like a sweater, kind of. Here's bubbles and sparkles and triangles and dots and lines. This one makes no sense. I don't know. I just tried to keep it consistent. This I tried to do a spiral, and then I tried to do triangles. I have more to go, but I just want you guys to focus on those patterns, and it changes your art and makes it much more interesting and fun. Instead of just coloring it straight, you can color it with a pattern. All right, have a great, great day.